This afternoon we're chatting about Delta Opticals. Is that the right word?
Delta Optical.
Optical. Delta is both binoculars and rifle scopes. So this afternoon we're talking to Paul Luff. He is the importer that brings in Delta. And we're also going to talk to Kofu Kwapi. He's ambassador for Delta. And also, I hope I say that right, Perry de Gavea.
Oh, it is Perry de Gavea.
Okay, so welcome, and thank you for talking to me this afternoon.
No, it's a pleasure.
So where does Delta originate from? And it's a relatively new brand in terms of some of the older scopes?
Well, I'd say Delta as a brand is relatively new, but it's been in Europe far longer than it's been in South Africa. We started importing Delta Optical about 6 years ago into South Africa, and then it was a completely new brand. Not well known amongst many of the shooters. And yes, it has been quite a struggle to get the brand in there, but it's now starting to take flame.
Why did Powder Keg specifically start bringing in and how did you go about it?
David De Silva, the owner of the Powder Keg, lives in Slovenia, and he has access to a lot of product over there, and we were looking for a value brand in South Africa at that time. Now, most of us know the old standard brands, but there was nothing new. We needed something that would fit the right price bracket and to help get existing shooters into better product and new shooters into the market without having to spend a fortune.
Because some of the scopes are very, very expensive.
Correct.
So the entry level is quite high. How does Delta as a brand perform in Europe then? You've touched on that.
Delta is one of the fast growing brands in Europe and is a force to be reckoned with. In South Africa we're getting there right now, but definitely in Europe, if you go into some of the periodicals that are published in Europe, you'll actually see Delta all over the place over there. So they're doing very well there and in South Africa now.
Okay, so you're trying to break into the sport shooting. I know that in terms of bigger scopes for long range, that is obviously optics is really important. But a new thing in especially handguns is optics on handguns. So
well,
where do you think you're going in that direction?
We already do very well in the long range shooting and in hunting scopes. And we're also trying to break into the market now, specifically on the red dots, the tactical type market. That is a market that's dominated by a couple of brands at the moment.
Absolutely.
But what we're seeing is guys that investigate it a bit more start looking at the alternatives that are out there. We've tested some of the product, like this Desert Eagle over here mounted with a Delta red dot, and it performs fine. There's quite a bit of recoil. This is a 357, and it actually stands up pretty well to this. This gets tested quite a lot, and we haven't had anything break on these yet. We've actually got one on one of our ambassadors' Glocks over here. This here just shows that it is absolutely ideal. It's small, it's unobtrusive, yet it actually works. Now this is Kofu's gun, and you're going to be chatting to Kofu later, so you can tell you a little bit more about this.
Okay. So yeah, you're talking about the 357, and that is the big problem that I've personally found with optics on handguns. It's fine to have an optic on a rifle or a shotgun even, but on handguns with that slide moving backwards and forwards, if that optic doesn't hold up, it's not going to hold up.
Well, this is why we tested it on a Desert Eagle first.
Yeah.
There's a lot of recoil. It travels quite a long distance on the side, and when it goes back into battery, there's quite a lot of shock, and we haven't had any issues yet.
That's actually really, really good, because I've had problems with an old optic that I actually tried to put on one of my handguns, and with the battery shifted, and especially on the handgun, it was fine on my long rifle, but didn't want to work on my handgun specifically.
Well, I would suggest that you actually try one of these
I will do sometime. Tell us a bit more about that. What's it? The 2 mile, the King of the 2 mile.
King of 2 mile.
Involved in it.
It's a unique situation. The guy that won it a little while ago, I'm quite sure everybody knows who he is in South Africa. He was an unsolicited shooter. and he was actually running one of the Delta Strikers and won the competition with that. Now, when I say unsolicited, we didn't go out and look for him to actually put it on. He chose it out of his own accord, put it onto his rifle, and actually won the competition. That in itself is testament to the quality of the product and how they actually ensure that they give a reputable, strong product into the market that is not going to fail. Our failure rate on Delta at this stage is very, very low.
So is the support good in South Africa for Delta? If something breaks, things do break?
Things do break. We haven't experienced many breakages over the last 6 years. There have been the odd occasion where something has actually gone wrong, but we swap it out in an instance where it's a very new product. Other than that, we don't really have any issues. We send it over to Delta, they sort it out, they replace it where necessary.
And usually quite a good turnaround time?
Very quick.
Okay, that's good news. Okay, where do you think Delta's going to go in South Africa in the next couple of years?
Well, it's a business that is always looking at new product. They speak to shooters on a continual basis so that they can bring product into the market that actually fits a particular market. Obviously, we've got our first Bino rangefinders that are out there and they are doing very well. They've now got handheld rangefinders, very well priced. One of the biggest problems that we have with Delta is we get questioned on the quality because it's so well priced. I shoot one, this is my rifle over here. I haven't had any issues with this product, and this particular scope has actually been in a bucket of water frozen for a period of weeks on purpose.
Okay.
Was actually frozen, then removed and then tested with absolutely no problems. Now, it wasn't us doing it, it was a journalist that actually did that down in Cape Town when they actually started testing these, and this is the same scope, absolutely no problems with it whatsoever.
Oh, that's excellent news. Anything else that you would like to add at this stage?
Not much, other than we are actually proud of Delta. We believe that it's a product that's going to grow. The popularity is growing. We see it all the time. Our brand ambassadors out there do very well with the product. And yeah, I think that it can only promise things that they can actually deliver. So we don't import something from Europe that is going to fail in a couple of days. We can't afford that. The turnaround time, although fast, still has to go to Europe, and we still run with the customs issues like anybody else. So yeah, I think Delta is going to do well in South Africa.
That's good news. I actually want to go back to another point. You actually sponsored one of your binoculars.
Yeah.
Also, absolute, it looks really good quality. So you've got quite a wide variety of Delta products.
Well,
at this stage.
They do a range of binoculars. They do a range of scopes, a range of tactical type products, red dots. Some of them geared specifically for tactical shotguns. Some of them geared for pistols. We even have some of the red dots mounted on 470 nitro doubles. These are for specifically for professional hunters that want to shoot fast, and they shoot them a hell of a lot, and no hassles yet. So yeah, it's definitely on the reliable side.
Thank you very much. Thanks for talking to me this afternoon.
Pleasure.
Thank you.